So let us go to the Skype machine and talk to Bear Jew himself, Paul Craig, who's standing by. There he is. It's been a while since we talked to him. Paul, how are you?
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. Congratulations not only on the victory, the last second victory, but also on the new contract. Is that in fact true? If the UFC, if you would have lost that fight and the UFC said, you know what, we're not going to give you a new contract, were you going to retire from MMA?
Yep, unfortunately, yes. When you set yourself goals, I don't want to hit anything less. I don't want to be taking the damage that I take, especially in that fight, for anything less than the best. Now, it's not about financial gains for me. Like I don't care about not making the most money, because you can always make more money through other shows. But for me, it was just being the best I could be and fighting at the best level. So that was my whole reason for doing it. When I had never ever spoke to anybody about this. Family, friends, my coach, my coach Brian says to me, he says, "Was that true?" And I says, "Aye, Brian. I had set myself to go with the UFC, and if it wasn't that, then it wasn't nothing. I'm a kind of all or nothing guy."
Do you agree that if you did not finish that fight, that you would have lost? Do you think that that would have been the case?
100%. Well, you never know. Like, the opponents I have faced, my 4 opponents in the UFC have been absolute studs. We had Enrique de Silva, who was an unbeaten opponent again. I took his O. I then hit Tyson Pedro, an unbeaten opponent again. Unfortunately, it wasn't my night. And then I had Khalil Roundtree, who was a tough finale finalist or whatever he was. And then next I had Magomedov, Ankalaev. Same again. They were touting him. I'm standing at the back of the arena, listening to them sing all his praises, and it was just, and he's fighting against Paul Craig. Nothing special for me. They sung this guy up, and it's and you know that way, like, I'm trying to stay in the zone, and I look at my coach thinking, like, motherfucker, you never mentioned any of this. But it was so much nicer, when you're up against these great opponents and you're having to dig deep. So I'm over the moon for that, and especially the contract.
So obviously when you're fighting, you're in the zone and you're not really thinking about other things. But do you recall going into that third round thinking, if I don't finish this guy here, this is it for me? These are my final moments as an MMA fighter. Were you thinking about that at all?
Yeah, 100%. It's always in the back of your head. Any fight, maybe your last fight in the UFC. I've said this openly. The UFC are brutal because there are so many fighters. They treat you for me, they've treated me amazingly. I've fought in UK and European shows, and the way the UFC have looked after me has been unbelievable. But there is so many guys willing to step in and take your place, not only in the UK, but Europe, US, all over the world, and they're biting the hand off you to have a contract that I've got. So going into any fight, being your first fight in the UFC contract or the last fight in the UFC contract, it can be your last. And that's always in the back of my head, that I need to put on a performance rather than go in there and get the win. And it's how I fight with regards to grappling. When I get you on the ground, if I get you on the ground, I'm always looking for that submission. And as you're aware that by the time when you're looking for stuff, and if you're trying to strike and finish the fight, then you leave spaces open. And that's how Ankalaev managed to get back up, pick me up, and put me in my bed like I was a wee boy, just lay me on my back like I was nobody.
It's amazing. I love how you say it, just like a wee boy. I'm sure you've watched the finish like a million times, right? How many times do you watch that thing?
It just keeps popping up on my social media stream, so
you can't get enough.
Nice to watch it. I can't get enough of it. I know it's just like when you hear that noise, that chap, and then it happens so quick. And even at that point, I just willed everything in my body just to squeeze it with everything I had. So when I stood up, I had absolutely no energy left. So I didn't even know if I'd done enough when I was squeezing. Because in the back of my head, 10 seconds in the octagon isn't 10 seconds in real time. It's like this weird state of time. You could count 10 seconds and it could be like a second has passed, because everything moves at a different time, especially when you've got an opponent on top of you who's swinging punches, and you hear that chap in the first round, you hear the 10-second timer, and that 10-second timer at that point felt like ages.
Wow. So could you tell us what's going through your mind? How did you actually pull this off? What are you thinking at that point? You hear the chop, and then what?
I knew that if I could get him to overcommit with one of these shots, and there was also an opportunity for a triangle, And I had realised he was doing it like prior to being in that position, he was flinging these massive bombs, and they were quite a few of them landed. And then I was managed to control his hip, and I was controlling this wrist, and he just overcommitted, and as he was pulling back, it just opened up this split second, and it was a split second to just nail this triangle.
Yeah.
If he didn't fling that way, the same intensity that he flung it, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you.
Wow. And did you think initially that the time had just run out, or did you know, because he did tap, but it's kind of hard to tell if he's doing it before the the final horn. What did you think? Did you know that you got him?
I knew I had got him because for some reason Mark Goddard had slapped me in the forehead. And if you watch it back, he's tapping. I wasn't stopping. I wasn't stopping for anything. And Mark Goddard just slapped me in the chest and slapped me in the forehead like just this. You've had enough, son. Slapped me. So I knew at that point, and then when I stood up, and my teammate had get in the cage and he was on my back, and I didn't know who was. I thought I was getting attacked. And if you look at the pictures, I'm turning around because I have no idea what's happening. I've just gave every ounce of energy I've got. I've had my adrenaline dunk, and then somebody's on my back, and I had no idea who it was. It turned out it was my teammate Chris Bungard.
So is it even possible to put into words what that feeling is like, to not just, it's kind of like hitting a buzzer beater in basketball, right? The game that we play, I know it's not very popular there in Scotland, but you hit that shot, it's pandemonium, people are going ballistic for you, and to hit that, but not only, to hit that, but to know that, your career was essentially on the line. Can you even verbalize what that feeling was like in the cage right after?
It's you can't. It's unexplainable, like the feeling and the emotion. Because even at that point, I still didn't know if I had a contract. I was going backstage unaware of anything going on with regards to contracts. In my heart, I thought 15 minutes with an opponent like Magomedov, Ankalev. I thought I didn't do enough to secure that contract, and we then get the email on Monday morning saying not to worry, then you were always going to get a contract after that performance. And that for me is worth, like, I don't want the money. The money means absolutely nothing to me. Like, I would, if I had that much money, I would give it all away and I would live in the jungle. That's like my dream. Just live in the jungle, doing yoga in the morning, man, eating some berries off the tree. That to me is so much better than you giving me these endless supplies of money. And when we got the contract, it was this massive relief. As I said, I was leaving the UFC and I was leaving MMA behind, and now I believe I've still got some gas left in this tank to get these 4 fights and start making my way back up the rankings. I'm sitting at 30. And there's so many people in front of me, and I believe in my head and my heart that I can beat them. And even going into my last 2 fights of 2017, 2017 was a horrible year for me. And it wasn't just the whole MMA side, different stuff happened in your life, and it molds you into the character you grow into be. And 2018, I knew, we have this thing where we say new year, new me, but it really was. I came back from Vegas with this new lease of life, speaking to the guys out there in the performance centre. I just had to deal with their losses and everything else that was going on in my life at that point. And I have, and I maybe took 14 minutes of getting my ass handed to me, but that's the sport we're in. It's MMA, and in the drop of a hat, you can get that Rocky moment, at the end of Rocky 2. You beat me with 1 second. 1 second. I love these films, man, and knew I'm getting to live that dream.
It's incredible. You think if you lose that fight, you still think you get a contract after what they told you? What do you think?
I don't know. This sport isn't just about fighting. We know that now. All the fighters know that now. Going back a few years ago, then maybe it was about the fighting. But now it's about the whole package. Can you entertain the crowd? Can you bring people in to love you? Because this is what this is. People only support the people they love. Like, look at Conor McGregor, man. He's got love all over the world. Do I have enough love in the UK, in Scotland? Yes. I know I've got some fans over in the US who send me lovely messages all the time, but I really don't know. I'd love to have said like UFC would have took that chance on me and kept me on, and they know the level of opponents that I've fought. So I don't know. I would love to say yes, but my heart says, nah, you lost, man. You were out. You were getting kicked out. There's guys being kicked out of UFC for less.
What would you have done? Gone back to teaching? Because you no longer teach, right?
No, that's me. I'm finished teaching. Came to the end of my sabbatical, and I still believed that there was this dream was still worth living. So I decided to keep going with that, and I'll go through the process to get back to my teaching job that I'd done at the start. Can always go back and do that. Maybe I do something else. Maybe I just come away from teaching it altogether and maybe just work in an office, sitting behind a computer, just typing and just conforming to society.
Well, you don't have to do that, so that's very good news. You talked about last year being horrible for you. How do you right this ship now? How do you go on the streak again? How do we get back to the Bear Jew who was finishing guys early? What went wrong, and how do you fix it in your opinion?
The best way I explain this is chefs. There's loads of chefs out there, and they all make the same soup, but differently. They all make tomato soup, if we use that as an example. Some of them add too much tomatoes, some of them don't add enough. Some of them add too much salt, too much pepper, and it changes the style of the soup. I can't believe I'm talking about soup, but anyway,
Yeah.
it's the same as MMA. I tried to change too much and took a step back from what got me to the UFC. What got me to the UFC was my ability to drag somebody to the mat and choke the life out of them. That's what got me here. And I went into the two fights with the ability that believing that I'm in there to beat Tyson Pedro in a stand-up fight, and I'm in there to beat Khalil in a stand-up fight, and I was delusional. Not delusional. That sounds a bit mental. That wasn't what got me to the UFC. My ability to strike was not what got me to the UFC. My ability to take people into deep water and strangle them was what got me to the UFC. So we went back to that. We changed up our training, and it works. We just went back to what made us. We didn't do the travelling. We didn't need to do the travelling previously, so we didn't do it this time. I mean, we did go down and train with Darren Till and Tom Aspinall and Mike Grundy, who are all lovely guys, and they helped massively. But what got us to the UFC was staying in Scotland and working hard work.
Speaking of those guys, Darren Till, Mike Grundy, do you want to fight on the Liverpool card?
Well, I got a medical suspension of 30 days, so I think the way that would work out, I wouldn't. But I'd love to, the very first time it's in London, in Liverpool, to watch Darren Till is amazing. He's one of the best fighters up and coming in the UFC. He's exciting. Same again, people love him, especially in Liverpool. With regards to Mike Grundy, man, I want to see that guy fighting in the UFC. He's an absolute savage. I'm a guy that weighs like 120 kilograms, and he picks me up like I'm nobody and moves me about like I'm a child. He's something special, and I'm under no illusion that he'll get that call up to the UFC. But I just hope it's for Liverpool.
And what about Leon Edwards? Just a few fights later, tying your record. Like for a minute, you were the record holder for the latest stoppage in a UFC fight. I guess now you can say latest submission in a 3-round fight, of course. And then he does it at 4:59 of the third round. He gets the TKO. Were you annoyed by that?
I didn't even know. He'd done it until after it, and then people were talking about it. You're like, Paul, you had the record for literally like 20 minutes. But you know what? You always remember, like for me, they'll always remember the first. First guy to do the 900 and be skateboarding. Everybody knows who that is. You know who's done it previously? Nah. So you always remember the first guy. You don't remember the second guy, even though it was only a few moments later. But the first guy will always be remembered.
But who's the first guy? Is it Tony Hawk?
Tony Hawk, guy.
Yes.
See, Do you know who's done it recently?
No, I have no idea.
Nah, exactly, man. Nobody knows. Do you know the guy who's got the latest submission victory in the UFC?
Paul freaking Craig. There he is.
Man.
What a story. Unbelievable. I keep watching it and you do it so fast. Like even, you hear the clank clank and you're like, all right, this fight is over. And then just like that, the guy subs. I mean, he taps. It's unbelievable watching it, how you were able to pull that off, be calm, lock it in, and I'm sure squeeze like you've never squeezed before, right?
The power I was putting into your legs, like, see, after I stood up, my legs weren't working. They were like that sort of jelly way, like I had a wee Elvis wiggle on, and but amazing. Like it's nothing's going to compare to that. I've said to you before about, like, it's about memories. For me, this whole thing's about memories, leaving some sort of legacy. For me, memories. Competing in London for my first time in London, fighting in the arena, packed out against a rising prospect in MMA, never mind UFC, and to beat him in the way I did just adds to everything. Just memories I'll never forget. And I've got a box in my cupboard, and it's filled with all this kind of stuff, all these papers speaking about it, clippings for internet, and I just keep it all. And maybe 100 years down the line, somebody will be looking through that and be like looking through my legacy, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Congratulations, Paul. I'm very happy for you. Obviously about the win, but also about the new contract. It really is a beautiful story and couldn't happen to a better guy. So enjoy it, my friend. And I'm looking forward to seeing you back out there. And I'm happy that you're not leaving us, at least for now.
Thank you very much, man. It's always a pleasure to come on here. But my main man, Chris Bungard, told me to tell you that he loves you.
Well,
So
thank you.
Tell you.
I love you too, Chris. He also said what? What did he say?
I'll let you go. I know you've got a night.
What did he say?
You've got a busy night, so I'll go.
Wait, what else did Chris say?
He said you're handsome.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't hear that.
I wasn't going to say that to him. I was like, he says,
no,
so handsome.
I appreciate that.
He's fanboys over
nice.
you, so it's cool. So I just thought I'd tell you that. This has just got awkward now. You think Chris Bungard fancies you.
Chris, I love you too. Thank you very much.